Good evening, everyone. Let's jump right into Collectively Rewilding. I hope it was beautiful where you were. It was way too beautiful here. Another extremely, for the winter, warm day here in Utah. And so, new activity, click that little button. Just going to be an advertisement for class. And so many things going on, but not a ton in the community. We covered most of that. So I am applying for a grant for this county. So wish me luck with that. And I've also taken on another project and I'm going to help the local entrepreneur group that getting together and building an app for the area called Our Main Street. And so I'm going to start working on a little snack food drive for the schools because I wasn't already busy, you know. So things that I do to myself, I tell you. Let's go ahead and jump right into the reports. And so I'm going to ask each time, Miss Vanessa, because I'm not going to leave you out. Or where are you at? Do you want to start looking at Texas and Alabama, or you still want to wait for a little bit?
I think I'm gonna just wait a little bit.
And so when you are ready, you'll want to come in without a background so that we can really hear you clearly, right? We can hear you, but it's like harder when there's a background.
Okay.
Okay, sounds perfect. All right, so let's pull up Benny and Kendez's report. I'm going to end up having to put up a tab, but I have so many tabs that already makes it hard to see. So I'm like, what do I do? Okay, so let's check out where you both are. Day 8, and I think that is where you both are. Wonderful. All right, so let's go check out what day 8 is. I think that I have this one and maybe one more posted is all. So we'll jump down into the garden planning Q&A where this class is hosted, and we're going to jump into that featured section. And let's see. Okay, so day 8 is the last one that I have posted and ready for us. And so this is when we're doing the square feet. Remember, we started with Tammy's, we did her first 5. And so now we'll do the list for the two of you. So let's go pull up day 5. All right. And so for Benny, cilantro. Let's look at the square footage for cilantro. Didn't take my enter. Okay, there we go. 1 to 4 plants per square foot. All right, let's check out Tammy's here. So we follow the same formatting as much as possible. Sometimes it doesn't always work the way it's supposed to. And this is going to be for Benny. 1 is cilantro. And oops, that is 1 to 4 per 1 square foot. All right. Ew. Collard greens. And I think that's the one that Tammy chose, so we get a cheat on that one. Copy it right across. Oh, it's not going to let me do that. That's fine. We'll just type it up. Collard greens are going to, oh, and I forgot my dash there, be for 1 to 2 per square foot, basically, is what that is. It takes half a foot to a foot square for the uh, between the dash and the numbers here. And let me actually edit hers really quickly because that's just going to bug. Okay. Now, 3 for you, Benny, is parrot. This is going to be another one where you can get like 9 to 16 per square foot. It's going to be crazy. And then all we'll do here is just copy this and put parrot for 9. 16 to 36 per square foot. I would probably be erring more towards the 16 myself. 16 is 36 per 1 square foot. That is wild. All right. And now for 4, we have green bell peppers. This one is going to be more like a foot to 2 feet. One square foot for intensively planting, 1.5 to 2 for larger, healthier plants. Okay, so we'll go 1 to 2 square foot. Right, now your 5 for your flower, sunflowers. Whew. Now that really depends on what kind of sunflower you want. Do you want a sunflower that has like a really big head that's only got one sunflower on it? Do you want one that puts out multiple sunflowers? What does sunflower mean to Benny?
I mean, I'm not too sure, know too much about them, but um, I mean, it seems the more sunflowers, the better, I guess.
The more sunflowers, the better. Okay. So you want smaller sunflowers with multiple sunflowers on it, not necessarily like the mammoth with the one big head.
Like, what do you recommend when like putting it
It
out?
really is just up to your preference. Like, are you just wanting it for the visual aesthetics and pollinators and things? Are you trying to get the seeds? Do you want to go towards native sunflowers? Right, there's a few different ways you can go with sunflowers. There's gorgeous sunflowers. I love sunflowers. I have a multi-pack that has like chocolate sunflowers in it. There's red sunflowers.
I want to love sunflowers too.
Say it
Um,
again, I'm sorry.
I said that my mother, like, she loves sunflowers.
Right? That's what
Um,
I'm wearing. Ta-da!
yeah.
Sunflowers.
I don't know, probably maybe like the natives.
Native? Okay. So we'll need your zip code once again.
Yep, it's 02703.
All right, let's see what it comes up with. This is exciting. Woodland sunflower. See how they're all helianthus. Okay. Woodland sunflower, a common 3 to 6 foot tall perennial found in dry to mesic woodlands. I've seen that term before, but I'm not sure what mesic means. Of an environment or habitat containing a moderate amount of moisture. Interesting. A moderate amount of moisture. So it's not a super wet forest, but it's not a super dry forest style setting. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Okay. Thin leaf sunflower, the Jerusalem artichoke, that is actually edible tubers. That's kind of fun. Perfect for naturalizing in open woods or along fences. So naturalizing, that means like to basically make something that isn't indigenous. let me let the dictionary tell you exactly what that means. That's admit a foreigner to the citizenship of a country, establish a plant or animal so that it lives wild in a region where it is not indigenous. So that's not really what we were asking it, right? So we probably wouldn't want the Jerusalem artichoke if we wanted to be nice to the native plants and things in anything but a contained garden, right? The giant sunflower, and that thrives in wet meadows and marshes. The pale-leaved sunflower, 3 to 6 feet perennial with pale, smooth leaves. Unlike the stems and stuff, they're so prickly they actually can hurt the sunflowers. They're not a soft plant. Found in woods and thickets. Western sunflower, that's not really for you as a native. Um, okay, let's see, native to, let's try to reword this. In fact, let's just do this. Native. There we go. Maybe that'll do something, giving us the same answer. Oh, it cut it back. Okay, that's good. There's no naturalizing here. That's more what we're looking for. All right, so here are some native sunflowers for your area. And that's going to be perennial species adapted to woodland edges and sunny, dry to moist soils. That sounds about like your property, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Key native perennial species include the woodland sunflower, thin leaf sunflower, and pale leaf sunflower. So if you have a moist spot, you could do this giant sunflower, which would probably be relatively comparable to the mammoth. I don't know. That's a variety that you can buy, a mammoth sunflower, right? These perennials are excellent for local ecosystems, providing food for birds and pollinators. And so let's actually drop this into your report with your pollinator information. Okay, I'm gonna put a break right here, and this is going to be how shall we say this? Like Benny's specifically selected flowers. One, oh wow, why did it not go to normal text? We would like to know, please. One, and then paste flower. This is not a pixel. This is an asterisk, more kind of a thing. And all right, so let's do this and say sunflower. Then we'll take all of these and rub over, and that will be sunflowers. There we go. Okay, very nice. All right, so let me actually get this one more correction here. There we go. Okay. Woodland sunflowers, what's more like your property? Thrives in dry, open woods and borders, often in partial shade. Sounds like Ken does, right? Thin-leaved sunflower prefers moist woods and along streams. So I'm guessing probably not so much that one. Pale leaf sunflower found in similar woodland habitats. What is similar? Similar to what? Similar to thin-leafed or similar to woodland flowers? Okay. Okay, that's already more specific. Look at that. Let's replace it with this. Okay. There. And then we're going to be replacing. There we go. We didn't. All right, nice. And Gemini, and deep dive, we'll see. Okay. Now let's see here. So we did that. It's part shade along woodland and edges and open canopy areas. This pale leafed is often found in open woods or clearing. Thin leafed prefers moist to dry soils and is frequently found along stream banks or in ravines. Common sunflower. Okay, so this one's already been widely naturalized, so it's really not going back. You wouldn't be furthering a problem. It's there. It's not going away. And so the common sunflower, and that can be found in fields and along roadsides. So what sounds the most like your property? I would go with probably anything but the thin leafed, right? I didn't see a ton of what I would call super moist areas, right? Perhaps back in the woods themselves. Sunflowers are sunflowers, though. They generally prefer sunnier locations.
I know that we usually have good soil here.
Say it again, Benny. What kind of soil?
So the soil is usually good. Like when you
Is
try to
it
see how soft it is.
is it moist quite a bit? Is it drier?
I think it's probably a little more on the moist side.
A little more moist side?
Yeah,
Okay. So perhaps the common sunflower would be good.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah, that's what it seems like.
Moist to dry, so the thin leafed and the common sunflower seem like they might be some of your best. So it seems like all of them would grow well. Part shade along woodland edges. So on your property, that growing right out here, right, where they get some shade, you could probably grow those kinds. So like here, this edge right here, that would be good for this top one, the woodland sunflower.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then the sunniest areas, this one would also really do well. So where you find more moisture, you go with this one. And this one will probably go just about anywhere, right? That's why it's naturalized so thoroughly. Okay, very fun. All right, let's jump back into here. Oh, we didn't even find square footage. Okay, so pick one of these and we'll find the square footage of it. What one is the most interesting to you?
Um, I mean, I was probably thinking maybe the common sunflower.
The common one?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And since we have all that nice detail there, now let's jump back to our nice setup here. See that. 6 to 18 inches of space for the smaller cut varieties and 2 to 3 feet for giant seed producing types. So common sunflowers, I guess, can be a lot of different sunflowers. That's kind of not very helpful. But where you're doing your open pollinator area, it's not too super specific, but you wouldn't want to crowd your seeds. Keeping them, I'd go towards 18 inches to 2 feet would probably be a good middle ground there. And so 1 per foot and a half to 2 feet.
Okay.
But you can plant things that don't need a lot of water or resources, a lot of nutrients around them, but they're like tomatoes. You would never want to put a tomato and a sunflower together because they both take a lot of water and a lot of the same resources, a lot of the same nutrients from the soil.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we'll go 0.5 to 2 square. Okay, let's check out. Anybody else has joined us? No. Okay, so we should be good to do your for funds as well, gentlemen. And so let's jump over here and grab your for fun. A rose bush. Again, the for funds may not be that great because it's really depending on how much. Like blackberries, you could keep it in a relatively contained space. It would still probably be like 3 to 4 feet, but you could also let it just, you know, so for the for funds, they probably don't make as much sense actually for us to get into. So it probably worked out just perfectly that we were only able to get Tammy's for 5 because realistically, it has a lot of variation. So we're going to grow an apple tree. Well, there were apple trees down on the farm that we lived in the Kelmo Canyon when our oldest was about 3 or 4 years old, and the trees were approaching 3-story height for a building. They were huge. They were monstrous. Okay. Or you can trim those trees back every year and keep them in like that kind of a ball shape that you think of as like quintessential tree, right? So it has a lot of variation. And then my grandmother got a bush once and put it in front of her house, and it was only ever supposed to really get, bushy size. The thing is higher than her roof now with where my sister is living. So it's a little bit more not subjective, that's not the right term. It's a little bit more based on how you take care of a bush or a tree or these aggregate fruits that can just be, why do they call it a blackberry patch or a huckleberry patch? Because those things can just take over huge swaths of land, right? Now let's pop that into your report here under day 8. And that's nice. Okay. That's what we want. Let's grab day here again. And this will be day 9. Normal text, normal text. Okay. There we go. Now, let's jump over to Kendez. Get him all set up here. And that is going to be,
Thank you, Sabrina.
of course. Isn't it fun to really start seeing like 16 to 36 carats? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Now, ginger, that's going to be another one that you're going to have to decide on because ginger can take over a large area, but let's just see what it has for ginger. Okay. Ginger requires minimal space, generally needing 1 to 2 square feet per plant, as they can be spaced 6 to 12 inches apart in rows 12 to 36 inches apart. For containers, a 12-inch deep and wide pot is sufficient for 1 to 3 rhizomes. But the nature of a rhizome is to spread. So that's what I'm trying to say. If you harvest it often enough that it doesn't keep spreading, that's one choice. You can, I'm sure there can be huge patches of ginger. Let's just check that out. Yes. Under favorable conditions, ginger can spread heavily, forming dense, wide clumps due to its vigorous, creeping underground rhizomes. While common ginger usually expands 1 to 2 feet wide, okay, so it kind of stops itself. Interesting. Some types, particularly ornamental ginger lilies, can spread extensively and become invasive, spreading 10 to 15 feet or more. And so it looks like the ginger that we've like cultivated is going to stay in about 1 to 2 feet, right? Let's go back. I think it said 2 to 3. Nope, 1 to 2 feet here as well. Okay, so 1 to 2 feet. If it were a wild ginger, it could spread just like, what's a good example? There are things that I know of in the garden, like hostas. They're rhizomes, and so when and there's some plant that's trying to pop into my head, and it's well, as an example, it's comparable to something like an aspen or a silver birch. They send out runners. Runners are different than rhizomes, but they're each one of them, they keep creating more and more. And it's like a wild onion plant. That's a bulb plant, but it's the same idea. A wild onion plant, they'll just continue to make more bulbs under the ground, and you can get huge patches of wild onion. And so it's interesting to note the differences between what we've cultivated and what you might find naturally.
Yeah, I had the house I was at before, the whole yard eventually became wild onion front yard.
Became wild onion.
Hmm.
Wow. Did it smell kind of strong if you cut it?
Only if you cut it. Well, only if
If
you
you
like
cut it.
minced it. But I mean, the grass, no, it smelled like grass too.
Interesting. You wouldn't think that, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so spinach is going to be like, I think 6 to 9 square
But
inch.
but I have a bunch of like a bunch of irises where I'm at now, and they're
Nice.
a thrive zone plant. I'm trying to figure out how to sell them. It's a pretty
Oh
plant.
yeah, you definitely could. The irises that I've dealt with were bulbs, I thought. I can't remember. 9 per foot, just like I was thinking there. I've heard 6 to 9. So let's just err on the side of caution and say 6 to 9 in a square foot. Oh, and I forgot your square. Get your square on there. Plants are fun. And given half a chance, they'll take every inch that we've taken from them right back. Beets. All right, so we're going to get beets now. This is another one that's got like 6 to 9, which really surprises me, but we spread ours way too far apart. Yep, 9 to 16. There you go. Hmm. Actually, we are going to have to do this on all of this. Okay, I'm looking at it the rest of the moment. And that's going to be 9 to 16. Is that what we said?
Hmm.
Okay. 9 to 16. Okay, now I've got it worked out. Warrior 4, kiwi. I have no idea, really. I've never even seen kiwi grown.
Yeah,
I do want to try it though, right? Go ahead.
it was tough getting some research in that. I was like, not nobody does kiwi. There's so much it's kiwi in every store, but no one's talking about growing it, you know?
There might be a reason for that. 75 to 150 plus square feet per vine.
Oh dang. Is that like straight up or like trellis?
Yeah, see the picture?
Hmm.
They're just gonna. So that's probably why people don't grow kiwi.
So I mean, does it grow like what's the thing down here that everybody hates? Kudzu? It's like a kudzu.
Perhaps, maybe. Per vine. I mean, I know you got a big property, but that's big, right?
We gonna find.
Okay, funny stuff. All right, let's check out your fifth, your flower. And that's going to be your strawberries. Now, remember, wild strawberries can become aggressive and invasive. Okay, so it all depends. If you're growing cultivated strawberries, I don't think that you have the same kind of concern. 4 plants per square foot. Okay.
Or maybe I see which one will win.
Wow.
Strawberries or the kiwi. Put them against each other.
Well, they wouldn't really compete at all because your strawberries are be your ground cover, and then your uh, kiwis, they're basically saying you should keep them off the ground. With the picture that we saw there, they're going to do better if they're kind of getting all that airflow and not being on the ground.
Okay.
So if
So
you're perhaps vine and trees and things like that naturally, I don't know. But you can put 4 strawberry plants per square foot. Now, I will just show you the difference. With wild strawberries.
I have wild strawberries where I was before. And I'd be like, whoa, dude, these are strawberries.
3 to 10 inches apart for faster ground cover. They spread rapidly via runners, eventually filling in to form a dense mat. A 4 by 8 foot bed can support 32 or more plants, depending on desired density. But they will take over an area. So I'm going to put them in my swale and they'll do really well in there. I don't know that with as dry as it is here, I would ever have to worry about them becoming invasive, but I can definitely foster having like a ground cover area of wild strawberries. So that's the difference between the two plants, right? Very neat. All right. So we all, I think, learned something with the kiwi situation. Super fun. And then Miss Ethel is joining us, but it's late and her report is so far behind, you guys. Let's just pick on Miss Ethel for a moment here because I think
hello, everyone. Go ahead, Sabrina.
I
Hey.
took away my search. I don't know why it does that. I put my cursor someplace and then it just takes it away. So in her garden challenge,
It's a funny day for spring.
maybe it's the light hair, right? It's just making everything giddy laughter. She does have this filled out, but not the larger swatch there. So yeah, we're picking on Miss Ethel there for a minute. Had to say hi since she's joining in. Let's go ahead and pop into our calendar, everyone. We will be back with Miss Tammy this Saturday, and she's probably off in her classes for, I think this is where she's doing her volunteering for the food preservation. I think that's what today and tomorrow are for her. And so she'll probably have tons to talk about this Sunday, February 1st at 11:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Mountain, 1:30 p.m. Central, and 2:30 p.m. Eastern. And I will be back with you all on Monday for Plan Your Wild Workshop. And that is going to be at 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 5 o'clock Mountain, 6 o'clock Central, and 7 o'clock Eastern. All right. I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend. Please feel free to unmute and say good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Nah, I might have done something bad.
Uh-oh.
I
You're
s-
gonna go be wild, are you?
yeah, I kind of splurged.
Uh-huh.
I bought a whole bunch of like dry root trees. Like I got a dwarf elberry, everbearing mulberry tree, a goji berry tree, a pineapple guava tree, two pawpaws, uh, two different types of honeyberries, and two different types of jujubes.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. So I'm gonna take it that this exercise has encouraged you to begin your explorations on your property then.
Well, yeah, I mean, the idea is to build a food forest,
That's wonderful, Kenda.
and
That's wonderful.
I've been trying to find the best fruits to grow in the shade. So, you know.
That is so exciting. Well, you'll definitely have to bring us along. That's so neat. Congratulations and good luck.
Right?
This is a great time for you to be planting trees.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I pick them up on the 15th.
Okay, that's still great. That's great. In your area, that's great. It's a little too early here, right? For you, it's going to be great. Yeah, that's wonderful. I'm really excited for you. Very cool. Well, now we'll get to look forward to hearing of Kendez's trials and travails in entering his orchard, right? His food forest orchard beginnings. That's so exciting for you. Yay. All right, guys. Well, I will see you on Monday. And really, I'm very excited to hear more about these trees, Kendez. You'll have to, we'll take some time this Thursday. Wait, Monday, we'll take some time and you can give us your list and we can go and look at the trees that you're talking about.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's really fun for you.
Mhm.
All right, guys. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, guys.